Hello,
Good
everybody.
day, everyone. My name is GREEKS and he's Qart-Hadasht, and welcome to our show.
Yes, yes. And we are dealing with a pretty massive assault from Massalia outside of Narbo.
Ooh.
My friends of the 104 are being attacked by about 2.5 stacks of Massalian forces. It's a fort battle, which would usually go my way, but we'll just have to see what happens. I think I have a decent memory about what happened here, because as I've made no secret, there's quite a long time gap between when we recorded this originally and this commentary right now.
Because I think it's important for you to understand, dear viewers, Qart-Hadasht has been working on a very important thesis that could make headlines in the future.
Well,
He's poured a lot of hours into
the
this.
thesis has nothing to do with why we're having this very long gap between the recording commentary and the recording of the video.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, it played a role as to why we're doing it right now, but this wasn't even anywhere near ready for a long time, because you're quite slow.
Whatever. Let's just see what's going on.
Yes, and immediately I see one of my little problems about deployment. My melee infantry and all were deployed in not so ideal side. Maybe that wasn't a big deal, but for me personally, I usually deployed them in a particular area, but I got confused at the time. I wasn't sure where the enemy was going to be.
That's not like you to get confused, Qart-Hadasht.
I think it just was a very wonky positioning of the camera, and I just got confused about where the enemy was probably meant to come from.
Well, where did you mean to place them?
Well, ideally I put all of my melee troops right at the back, which makes them far from enemies' line of sight, so that they can spring up at the right time when the enemy blobs in. Now, I don't know that really played a role as to why, well, to the result here, but I know that was one thing that wasn't great.
Oh dear.
But yes, the Ligurian cavalry, yes, I remember that. Those were added in 1.2.8 when Massalia got overhauled.
The update. Yeah, the update came in. I forgot about that.
1.3.1.
Oh,
so that's the current DEI build, is 1.3.1, but this campaign is in 1.2.8.
Oh, right, okay.
Originally it was in 1.2.7, but they updated to 1.2.8, and some of the relevant mods I was using for 1.2.7 were taken off the Steam Workshop.
So we have the Epoldor right here. Is that how you pronounce it?
Eporedoi.
Eporedoi.
Yeah.
What do they specialize in?
They're Gallic heavy cavalry.
Oh, and I'm assuming that we have hoplites here defending?
Yes, I have a mix of Libyan Phoenician hoplites, Greek mercenary hoplites, and the Sacred Band.
Well, they seem to be holding their ground well enough.
Well, that's their job, they're hoplites.
Oh, I know. I guess when you were considering the fact that you said the positioning of some of these guys were
well, it wasn't these guys, it wasn't the hoplites that was wonky, it was the melee infantry and elephants and cavalry and all that stuff.
Oh, okay then.
Their position was a little wonky because of the fact that I just didn't know where the enemy was going to come from. I got a little confused.
Oh, we got an arrow storm over here at the entrance.
Yeah, well, they're launching their projectiles. And they're moving my elephants up.
Gonna strike them from behind?
That's the plan, though it won't be so straightforward because there's a lot of enemies.
They all seem to be coming on one side, honestly.
That's what the AI likes to do. They like to blob in one side.
I know it's due to the hardware limitations, but all I can say is it's not a very good battle strategy.
I know that's where a lot of people talk about the AI is kind of dumb, and DEI can't do much about it. They can influence it, as I've said before, they can influence the AI's behaviour, but they can't directly mod it.
Still worth pointing out, I think.
And then they got Balearic slingers.
Oh boy.
Some of the best slingers in the game.
Viro Poloi. I can't read the names there.
Poroi.
Viro Poroi.
Yes.
What do they do?
They are kind of skirmishy infantry. they would throw javelins, and then they'd fight with their swords or spears. Their name comes from their shield, the oval-shaped TWR2, which means
Let's
door.
hope they don't reach the. Let's hope they don't reach the front. Then that could be bad news.
I have TWR2 actually. My Libyans are TWR2.
Oh.
In fact, actually, 1.3.1 did some slight tweaks to TWR2.
Yeah.
The TWR swordsmen have been changed slightly to become what are called melee skirmisher hybrids.
And what's the difference?
They have more javelins, although the javelins are weaker. Their mass has been reduced. Their HP has been reduced, but their speed has been increased.
Okay, it's a nice balance there.
Yeah, so they're a little faster with a bit more javelins. They also... Yeah, they've less mass, which means their charging power is a bit weaker. But they're a little... It's basically a mix between skirmishers and melee infantry.
Well, it doesn't look as though that wall's gonna hold down for much longer.
Yeah, it's gonna burn, and that'll give them a little bit more of a chance to flood in.
It's like this. It's like this gigantic battering ram. It's like the hoplites. They're good, but they're not perfect. Like,
Of course, no unit's completely perfect.
I can't see them withstanding that for very much longer.
Nope.
I give it like 5 minutes. That's my estimate.
Well, we'll just see how long it goes. The thing is, when it comes to hoplites and pikemen, the way to use them is what they call hammer and anvil tactics.
What's that?
Basically, your phalanx infantry are the anvil. They keep the enemy at bay. And the hammer will be stuff like your cavalry to charge in. That's the way to use hoplites and pikemen and stuff like that. They're to hold off the enemy until your more aggressive troops, like cavalry, elephants, melee infantry, until they come round to hit the enemy from behind.
Oh, so it's kind of like hold the line and wait for backup, basically.
Kind of. It's what they call a hammer and anvil. It's kind of even the historical way the pikes were used in Hellenistic armies.
I guess that makes sense.
So that's
We got the... Looks like the Ligurian hoplites are surrounded
Ligurian
on all
cavalry.
sides. Ligurian cavalry. They're pretty much surrounded there.
Yeah.
I don't see them lasting very much longer.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to move my melee infantry past them to hit the enemy blob. My elephants are coming around.
The elephants are coming!
But yeah, so whatever be our next campaign, considering it's either between Mario or Seleucids, then we're going to have some more elephant action with them.
Ooh, I very much look forward to that.
With Indian elephants.
Ooh, Indian elephants, finally!
Yes, apparently it's an interesting video by Summary, who talked about elephants and the way they're kind of worked in the game. There are 4 different classes of elephant, I think. African elephant,
Indian elephants.
well, African
the
elephant,
other...
Atlas elephant, Indian elephant, and Indian armored elephant, or something like that. And basically, the African elephant has the lowest HP and mass, and the Indian armored elephant class has the highest HP and mass. So Indian elephants are much better.
Well, of course. They're Indian elephants.
Yeah, well, they're bigger than the type of African elephants used.
I know, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Plus, they might be a bit more aggressive. Yeah, so I got my Ambakti charging in.
There's a huge mass up there.
But yeah, so the Seleucids and Maria both have Indian elephants. Seleucids also have Syrian elephants.
Oh, Syrian elephants.
Yeah.
Are they any worse or better than Indian elephants?
Their stats are probably stronger than a lot of the Indian elephants. But they're an AOR unit. Now I believe actually historically the Syrian elephants were really just a special kind of Indian elephant, Asian elephant, bred for size. But yeah. But the Seleucids are pretty good in their elephants. Maria would have the best elephants. Sure, their elephants are more numerous.
They have like a greater supply of elephants, you mean?
Well, like more numbers to the elephants. For example, the Indian Marian Reserve elephant, which is their weakest elephant unit, has 24 elephants. And then the war elephant also has 24, but then you have the tower elephants and royal bodyguard elephants, and they're 48. Contrast that with, say, Carthage, where the African elephants and African war elephants are 18, and the Atlas elephant is 36.
Ah, right.
And then Seleucid Indian elephants are 36. You know, so that's the way it works. But yeah, my elephants have shattered.
Well, they're running for the hills now, your elephants. They've
Pretty
given
much.
up.
They've given up. And they were close to breaking a lot of the enemy.
Bloody cowards. They could have just pushed on further, but no, they had to break line.
Well, elephants are hard to control. I mean, there's a thing that if elephants went berserk, the mahouts could do. If the elephants went berserk, was they get a hammer and a chisel, placed over the elephant's skull.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's if the elephant went completely out of control. Mahouts could do that.
Humane, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I believe even Indian mahouts are particularly favoured.
Not bad.
I think the Seleucids used Indian mahouts because I think even the first book of Maccabees mentions Indian drivers for the elephants at the Battle of Beth Zachariah. Yeah, I had to look into the book of Maccabees, the first book of Maccabees, for my thesis. Because the Seleucid Roman army infantry, which is what it was about, were mentioned in it, or at least it's implied that they were there.
Your forces are pretty thinly spread out outside your fortress. I don't think they're going to hold on much longer.
Well, the battle is another, like, 13-ish to go, so there's still some time.
I mean, they could always turn the tide in their favor. You never know. The enemy just seems to have the greater numbers.
Of course, they're attacking with 2.5 stacks against my single stack.
Just have to get creative, I suppose.
So you have to do what you can. And the Midians are throwing their javelins.
Hopefully none of ours are caught in the crossfire.
They probably will be.
Reckless, but you know, I guess they've
Yeah,
got
I
no
won't
voice.
say I'm perfect in that regard.
So they pretty much consider them fresh meat at this point.
Mr. Ford, I must hello, what did I?
Masoloi hop the tie. What are those exactly?
Masalian hoplites.
Ah, right. It's just another name for them, basically.
Well, it's the Greek for Masalian hoplite.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Torea poroi uzonoi.
Oh, that's a nasty one down there.
A lot of the enemy is routing on that side. Also start to speed things up a tad. But it's very choppy.
What can you do?
Yeah, I'm kind of these days taking a little break from DEI.
Yeah?
As I said to you, I've before we started recording, I've been playing Warhammer 3. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Since Immortal Empires came out. So I've been doing that a lot now, and maybe one day I'll do a series of the Warhammers, but probably not in a while.
Our time will come eventually.
Yeah. we're still gonna have to figure out what our next campaign will be when the time comes for that. Oof, the fella got slaughtered by a Gaul.
Well, it looks like they're slowly breaking through.
Leaving my sacred band in.
The hoplites are still standing firm. I'll give them that.
Yeah. My Libyan Torero spears are fighting. There's my Ambacti. They're probably distinctly losing against the Lurgatin infantry.
Oh, I see some fresh spaghetti there. Not exactly. I wouldn't say it's tasty, but you know, it's there. So.
Yeah, so they're doing their best to hold on. The Ambacti are losing decisively.
Who are they facing off against?
It looks like they're fighting Illyrgitan infantry, but they might also be clashing against some hoplites. Yeah, so it's their Thoreo swordsmen versus my Libyan Thoreo spears.
By the way, it's not looking good.
Yeah, the Pale Makoi hoplitai they're fighting. They're like the elite hoplites from Massalia.
Ooh, that's some tough competition.
Yeah. The veteran hoplites. Massalia has 3 types of hoplites. Massalian hoplites, Palemakoi hoplitai, the veteran hoplites, and Epilectoi hoplitai, noble hoplites. I think they're called, or noble guard. Epilectoi just means picked.
And which one out of the 3 of them would be the strongest?
The Epilectoi.
The noble ones?
Yeah.
Ah. And which one are they facing?
The ones that my Ambacti were fighting against were the veteran hoplites.
Okay, so it's like it's not as strong or as firm as the noble one, but it's still
Pretty much.
It's still pretty tough competition regardless.
Yeah. Plus they're also fighting squish between those hoplites and also the Illyrgitan swords, so you know. Yeah, they're doing some. Yeah, see the Epilectoi hoplitai are there fighting my hoplites. Yeah, they have a lot of Celtic and Iberian influences in their equipment.
Equal footing in terms of fighting skills, I'd say.
And look, they're starting to move around. So I'm
can see
charging my
them.
Sardinian spear archers.
I can potentially see them burning down huts for sport. Because they've already set fire to a set of walls, so why not a hut?
Oh well, that's not how the game works now. That's not how it works in the game.
Probably also doesn't work in real life as well.
So yeah,
Also,
it's not
not a
looking
whole lot
good
of your
for us.
forces left. Not a whole lot of our forces left on the outside.
And we see that there's fresh reinforcements arriving.
Oh, we're getting picked off slowly but surely.
Pretty much. And my Libyans are squashed on both sides. They're fending off the Illyrgitans and Ligurians.
Oh, that's nasty down there. It's like,
Well, my Libyan
like
Phoenician
goo
cavalry
everywhere.
is charged into the Illyrgitans.
It's black goo everywhere.
Palemakoi Hopitai.
Who are those guys sticking out the back there on the enemy side?
And the guys at the very back,
Yeah.
they're the Massalian reinforcements.
Do they have any hoplites in there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Ah.
And Muscatari are fighting.
They're holding out the best they can. Their numbers are decreasing. One by one, apparently.
They're doing their best, that's the key thing.
No, but their best isn't good enough.
Pretty much. I'm bringing my man back to your fighting as much as I can. And back to you're pretty powerful.
It's like a reverse tug of war. The enemy's pushing in and there's nothing they can do.
Yep. Heavily outnumbered.
Oh, we've got two of the enemy forces going up against our singular one right there.
Yeah. I think hoplites versus my spearmen.
Well, I can see who's going to lose on that side.
They got Celto-Hellenic spears. They're quite strong. And they're from population class 3.
Oh, what's that?
Basically, they're DEI population classes. Class 1 are the nobles. Class 2 are like your middle class warriors. Class 3 are your subjects, your commoners if you will. And Class 4 are foreigners.
Alright.
So they're population class 3, that means from a very plentiful population supply. And they're quite strong units. The Celto-Hellenic spears. Masada gets them in Theraeus reforms.
The Iberi Scutadi. Scutari. They're holding out as best they can, but I can see that their numbers are vastly decreasing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
rapidly decreasing.
Yeah, they're defeating a lot of my guys. My Libyan Theraeus are routing.
The Salium hoplites, they're pretty much decimating our numbers.
And my Ambacti are routing.
Every man for himself! Ah!
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my God.
I told you it's one of my favourite kill animations.
It's brutal, I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I've seen it a lot whenever I play as Rome.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's my experience. I've seen it a lot when I play as Rome. It's quite fun to see.
In its own sick, perverted way, but sure.
Yep. My Libyan Phoenician hoplites are fending off Ligurian swordsmen.
Well, it's definitely a crowd.
Yep.
Oh, you've got one set of the enemy forces. They kind of, they're pushing in slowly but surely. I can see that there.
Yep. So most of my armies after routing. So nice seeing the Celtic influences on Massalia. Those are fun to see.
Oh yeah, I can slightly see them.
Because again, Massalia are Greeks located in Gaul.
Oh, the hoplites are charging in now, going in for the kill.
Yep. Attacking my Theraeus spears. Yeah, my general's fighting off, trying to fight some hoplites, but struggling.
Let's hope he doesn't get surrounded any more.
Yeah.
Any more than he already is. Oh, well, your inhabitants are fucked now.
Yeah, moving my another unit Sardinian spear archers.
Can't tell if they're routing or just trying to like cut them off.
They're not
Rude.
routing. Yeah, so we're basically screwed here.
shit.
We've done the best we can.
Sometimes their best isn't good enough. Sometimes you just have to win, and you have to accept the failure.
I know. I know.
Is that fire going on down there, or is that just like really golden armor?
It's a bit fire from the towers.
Oh, right.
See, my fort has towers and they shoot flaming arrows.
Oh, okay. I was just under the impression that it was like the golden cloaks from Game of Thrones. They're just like so radiant that they blind the enemy.
No, nothing like that, I'm afraid.
Would have been cool though.
Kassatin Sardinian. Yeah,
Who are they?
Sardinian spear archers.
Ah.
So I'm withdrawing my Scutari. Some of my surviving troops I'm withdrawing. I'd Scutari and I'm back to you over there.
Wimps. Although they're probably wimps with good... They probably have the right idea. I'll give them that.
I'm ordering them to withdraw.
Oh, that makes
That's
sense.
why it says withdrawing, because I gave them that order to withdraw.
Oh, alright then.
And my general's also leaving.
I don't want to die!
Better to live and fight another day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although, granted, you're dealing with warrior cultures a lot of the time, where for them, better to die on the battlefield. But it is what it is.
You can't win against natural human instinct.
No.
Sometimes human instincts don't care for the laws of morality.
Yes. Yes, I'm withdrawing as much of my surviving troops as I can.
We're rolling for the hills.
Yes. Spearmen are now starting to withdraw.
Every man for himself! Well, all I can say is this fortification is fucked.
Yep. And there's the epileptical Hoplitai.
Very embarrassing defeat, if I do say so myself.
You think it's an embarrassing defeat? But yeah, so... as you can see, quite a crushing defeat.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, there's always another day.
Yes. And the thing is, if my general survives, then that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, 'cause he's pretty much the most important person right now.
But we will get our revenge.
Our sweet, sweet revenge.
Yeah, my sacred ban is even breaking.
Oh.
But the thing is, when thorax reforms will kick in eventually, the sacred band will get a nice little upgrade.
That's cool.
Yeah, they'll look even cooler. And they'll be stronger.
Also,
they'll have bigger shields and heavier armor.
well, that's always handy.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was a close defeat according to this.
Disengage!